Let's bring in Nash Walker from Locked On Twins. Nash, thank you for joining me today on the Ron Johnson Show. Also, people, I want to make sure you guys remember, you can get all of our Locked On content on Amazon Fire and Roku. Please just go to the Amazon Fire or Roku apps, download it. Make sure you put it right there on your TV. You get all of our videos, all of our shows. You can also see Nash's pretty face every once in a while. Whenever big news happens. And so it's not really baseball season right now. It's football, it's hockey, it's basketball. But the Twins did something a lot of people didn't think they would do. I said they would make an offer, but I knew it would go elsewhere, and it went elsewhere. And now all of a sudden, Carlos Correa is back with the Twins. I think $270 million, but every other team had a question about his leg. So I'm going to jump out there, Nash. What's going on with his leg, and why aren't the Twins worried about it?
Yeah, Ron, thank you for having me. It's good to finally join you on the show. I see all the sweet guests. I'm like, man, I'm glad to join the group. It's really fun. If you would have shown me, Ron, at the beginning of the offseason and said, hey, he's going to sign a 6-year, $200 million guaranteed contract, I would laugh at you. Honestly, that was not even in the realm of possibility here. Correa was going to get, I thought he would get less than 300, but just less than 300. I thought he would get like 285, 290, 295 guaranteed money. And he did. He got 350 from the Giants, then 315 from the Mets, and now 200 with the Twins. So my first thought with this is he went from 350 million with San Francisco to 200 guaranteed with the Twins because of an injury that happened when he was in the minors. The concern with the right ankle is not today. It's not a concern for this season or even 2024 or 2025. The concern is, how is the plate going to age? How is this going to look in 8, 9, 10 years? And for teams like the Mets and Giants who wanted him for that length, they were concerned about the long-term stability of his ankle. A 6-year deal, that takes a little bit out of that concern, right? Because he's 28. This is going to be his age 28 season. This deal can become, as you said, a 10-year, $270 million deal if the vesting options hit or the Twins pick up those options. But if you just told me nothing else about the in-between, which is the craziest free agent saga we've ever seen in baseball, and you said, hey, he's going to sign with the Twins for 6 years and $200 million guaranteed, I would say that is the best outcome that could possibly have happened for this team at this point, because they don't get these opportunities very often. And we know, growing up as Minnesotans, people don't always want to come here. Like, we get that. Big free agents don't always want to come here, and that's understandable. For Correa, we heard throughout he would prefer to be in Minnesota if all things were equal. And now they are his third choice by definition. Like, he chose California and New York teams before he came to Minnesota. But this was a unique situation. This was unique where they had this opportunity. He fits on the roster. They need a shortstop. They haven't had stability at short in forever. He's in his prime. He played here for a year. He's close with Byron Buxton. He's close with Jose Miranda. This was a prime spot for the Twins to kind of break down that wall of, we never do this. It's cool to see it happen, but yes, I agree, Ron. There's concern about the ankle, certainly less so than it would be on a 12 or 13-year deal, though.
And when you think about this leg, so let's go to this leg. And again, everybody knows, as any sport, any athlete's had a knee injury, foot injury, ankle injury, things like arthritis start to set in. Things like plates might need to be replaced because of just technology has changed from the last time that surgery was done. I've seen personally, I've seen it with my wife. She had her back fused, and then, I think I don't remember how long it was later, but 10, 12 years later, she had to have the screws removed because her body started to grow around and kind of make it uncomfortable for screws to be in her spine. And so there's a lot of things like that come up where technology is going to change. And that's why I think teams were nervous. The Twins are saying, like you said, 6 years, that's enough. But we all know in baseball, your team only goes as far as your pitchers. You can have the best infield in Major League Baseball, but if your pitchers are getting it smacked around and out the park, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So what are the Twins going to do? Because now you do have Carlos Correa, you have Byron Buxton, you have some hitters. What are they going to do to solidify this pitching bullpen? Because you look at guys like Justin Verlander, and I'm a big Detroit guy from Detroit, so I loved him with the Tigers, moves on to the Houston Astros, wins a championship. And now you look at a team like the Twins, and I wouldn't say Justin Verlander because this is kind of towards the end of his career, but who are some players out there like that the Twins might be able to I don't know if they need to beg, get on their knees, plead, get A-Rod to get involved in this. You know,
Yeah.
he's a New York guy, but he's now a Minnesota guy. So can A-Rod help the Twins get some pitching here? I mean, I don't know. What do they need to get J-Lo back with Ben Affleck? I don't know. But whatever the Twins need to do, what do they need to do to get some pitching here?
I was at the gym last week and I saw A-Rod, and maybe next time I'll go up to him and say, hey, what do you think? And Carlos Correa, apparently A-Rod's his idol, like shortstop, primetime shortstops, he's his idol. But there's not a whole lot left, Ron, on the free agent market. This was a unique situation. You mentioned Verlander. It was Verlander and DeGrom at the top, and we knew like that's not going to happen for the Twins. They're going to have their pick, especially Verlander. He goes to New York. DeGrom is a Ranger, and you could argue like the Twins should have been more involved on DeGrom, but I just didn't see Verlander coming here this late with a team that he wants to win. He wants to be assured that he's going to win and have a chance at a World Series. That's in New York with the Mets more than it is with the Twins. Certainly.
I mean, did they not show Kate Upton like the Mall of America? Like, come on.
I don't know why he wouldn't, but he's going to go to New York and pitch for the Mets. And then DeGrom with the Rangers. There's no income tax down there. It's still a big market. It's Arlington. Yeah. They gave him a ton of money. So those two were like the top. And then you had Carlos Rodon was that next tier. And he was someone I was talking about all offseason. Big lefty, 98 to 100, ace. You know, he's an ace caliber pitcher with some shoulder problems. So I thought maybe he could get into the Twins price range. Yankees signed him. So it's, you know, Mets, Yankees, Rangers at the top there. It's hard to get around that. Last year, they should have signed a frontline starter. There was a lot of them available. They didn't sign any. And this year, there weren't many in free agency. And now I think what's going to happen, and I made this case last night, is I think they're going to get aggressive in the trade market. I don't know if it's going to be one of those top echelon big names, but a controllable, solid young starter. Brandon Woodruff and Corbin Burns are like co-aces in Milwaukee. They're two guys we've been monitoring throughout the offseason. The Twins have not had a true ace every fifth day since Johan Santana. And I know that you watch and you see it. I watch and I see it. They haven't had that since forever ago. They need that. And I think they're hoping it comes out of the system. But at this point, I wouldn't say anybody in the system is ready to take that step in 2023 or even 2024. So they do need to go out and get a frontline starter. That was one of the top three needs this offseason. Go get another frontline starter. And if they did, Ron, the roster looks really nice at that point. Then you have a deep group in the lineup. You have a deep group in the pitching staff. The rotation is a lot deeper than it was a year ago on opening day. You'd be cooking with peanut oil at that point, as they say. They'd be like probably 88 to 91 wins on paper. That's the sweet spot to get into the playoffs. They would look really nice if they did that, and I think they will. I'll predict that they will go out and trade for a frontline starter. And Aaron Gleeman and John Bonus were talking about this yesterday. I think Correa, I predict with them that Carlos said, hey, if I'm going to do this, you got to commit to this. You have to commit to building around me a little bit. And when Byron signed that extension last year, you have to commit to building around him too. If you're going to sign Byron Buxton to a 7-year, $100 million deal in the middle of his prime, you got to bump payroll. You got to do things like sign Carlos Correa. You got to do things like trade for frontline starters because you don't know how they're going to age, and you want to build as much as you can around them in their primes. And for Byron, you don't know if he's going to be healthy. And if he is, you want to make it matter. And to do that, you have to build around him and build the best roster possible every given year. And now that you've signed Correa, there's a clear direction. And that direction is we're going to try to put the best team on the field in 2023, even if that means making risky trades, trading top prospects for frontline starting pitching. Because now you're in a position where you can get there, where you can reasonably project to win the division, where you can reasonably project to make the playoffs. And I think the Twins will take those next steps here in the next month or so.
And when you look at the Twins as a whole, they're not a sexy organization. If this were the Yankees, this would be all over ESPN. This would be all over every network. It's not. Carlos Correa and the Twins are not making a ton of noise right now. It also happened in the dark of night. Like it was one of those deals that all of a sudden you look at your phone and you're like, wait, what? Is this real? Like, is this a spoof? What is it about this deal in the Twins as an organization that you don't get the leaks? Like if this were the Yankees, you would have had leaks all out the yin yang of like, oh, Carlos Correa might be a Yankee. It's coming. Like or whether it's his agent leaking it to get the buzz up, or whether his agent kept this quiet because of the two previous like denials of like, all right, well, if you guys are going to balk on this, physical, I'm going to go try to work my magic elsewhere. And of course he comes back to the Twins, but for him to be, like you said, that they're the third choice. And for anybody who's been in a relationship, the third choice, the person that is the third choice, when they figure that out, they're not happy.
Yeah.
Are the Twins players, and not so much the players, but is the organization really completely happy with Carlos Correa, him being their third choice?
I think there's an understanding here that it was going to take crazy circumstances or a really strict set of circumstances for this to happen. It's never happened for the Twins before. Carlos Correa is a generational type of shortstop. I said it last night. He's fourth in wins above replacement through an age 27 season since the Twins came over. And it's A-Rod, Cal Ripken Jr., Robin Yount, Carlos Correa. Like, he's in that echelon of player. Twins don't do that in free agency. For whatever reason, they don't want to spend the money. Free agents don't want to come here. I think throughout this process, there was a feeling like they're not going to do this. They've never done this. So there's a focus on the big markets, of course. And there was also a feeling Carlos Correa wants to be in a big market. He wants to shine in New York. He wants to shine in California. Look where he signed, initially agreed to deals with both of those teams in the Mets and the Giants. So everybody was skeptical. Like, you can hear the Twins are offering, the Twins are doing this, the Twins are doing that. They love Correa. Correa loves the Twins. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's the Twins. And people didn't believe, and I was skeptical too, that this would ever happen. And I think your point, why is there not more around this? I think people are shocked. One, I think people are just like confused, and they were last year when he signed this 3-year quasi 1-year deal with the Twins. There's like, people are confused about why this happened, how this happened, why is he a Twin? Because this just doesn't happen. These types of players don't play for the Twins. They don't sign with the Twins in free agency. They've had players of this caliber, like Joe Mauer, and Byron has that talent, but they've never signed them in free agency. So people are just surprised. I think the national media is surprised, and this Twins front office is already pretty tight with their information. Usually they just drop things out of thin air. So that's part of it too. But there's just surprise all around that it happened twice in 2 consecutive off seasons.
Yeah, and for the Twins, I mean, again, it's unheard of for them to spend money. We knew it was going to be a team-friendly deal, but also works out for the player. And again, at the end of the day, $200 million is a lot of money. I don't know why people feel like, oh, this person should be like, I get the 350 million. But at the end of the day, after 10 years, can you really say at the end of that, you look at A-Rod, you look at what was his other guy with the other big signing the Yankees had with A-Rod?
Jeter and A-Rod.
Jeter, yeah, exactly. So Jeter, A-Rod, those two, when you look at those signings and how much money they spent, and did it really work out? Was it really worth it? I mean, when you go through all of that and you look at what you get out of those players at the end, I could see the Twins thinking that. Like, there's been so many teams that have been burned, but at the end of the day, the Yankees do that because the Yankees know they can keep reloading. Exactly. As those guys get older, they're going to add younger guys to help them out. Whereas the Twins don't really, they don't really continue to sign guys. But maybe this is a sign of change. Maybe this is a sign of new things to come. But we'll see. We will see what's happening, what's going on with this team. But at the end of the day, Carlos Correa is a Twin. You did say if they were to get a frontline pitcher, 90 wins. Without a frontline pitcher, real quick 20 seconds before we get out of here. Without, and this is early, so this is not, we're not holding you to this. We're not going to put freezing cold takes on you or anything like this. But if they just stick with what they have right now, they don't find a frontline pitcher, same pitchers, are they better than last year or the same?
They're better because they have Tyler Mahle and Jorge Lopez on opening day, and they're just hypothetically healthy on opening day. So yes, I think right now 84 to 86 win team on paper today.
Okay. Wow. Well, there you have it. 86 win team right now. Healthy pitchers though. We got to have health.
Health luck this year.
Carlos Correa healthy. Byron Buxton. Hopefully we keep him in a bubble.
Yes.
Because he has to make it to opening day healthy. So because Byron Buxton, as we know, is not hurt right now, right?
No, he's okay now. Yes.
So as long as he's healthy, Carlos Correa is healthy. Maybe we get some Bash brother action.